Hi everyone, my name is Jordan Burns and I am doing my cultural presentation on Portugal. I chose Portugal because earlier this summer I studied abroad in Spain and we took a weekend trip to Portugal and I just fell in love with it and I wanted to learn more about it. And I'm also using the Screencast-O-Matic for this presentation. So moving on to my slideshow, um, I'm going to start off with the geography. So, Spain occupies the western part of the Iberian Peninsula and is slightly smaller than Indiana, just to give you some frame of reference on the size. The country is crossed by three large rivers that rise in Spain, flow into the Atlantic, and divide the country into three geographic areas. And mountains and high hills cover the northern third of the country, and the majority of the country, as you can see, is surrounded by water. And I got this information from worldatlas.com. So moving on to family structure. So family is the foundation of the Portuguese social structure. The nuclear family has strong ties to the extended family, which include cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, godparents, and close friends. It is quite common to find three generations living under the same roof. And also, married children tend to live in a house or apartment near the parents. This is quite different in America. Um, as y'all all know, whenever we graduate college or high school or get married, we move typically farther away from our parents. Different city, different state, sometimes even different country. But in Portugal, they move like down the street or to a neighborhood close by. So, children are brought up as an integral part of the family unit and are expected to contribute to the overall welfare of the entire family. So, unlike in America, children and adults have the same responsibilities, um, and so they're all doing the same kind of thing. Adult children are expected to live at home until marriage, and placing elderly relatives in nursing facilities is unusual. So, the grandparents will usually live with their children and just may participate in community activities for the elderly, which, as we know in America, many times when our grandparents get old, we put them in a retirement home, things like that. But here they just live with their families and hang out with elderly just in community activities. And I got this information from the ldldproject.net. So moving on to dress. So the traditional dress of Portugal is full of bright colors, full skirts, and shiny jewelry. Women prefer longer skirts made of these decadent fabrics, as you can see in these photos, and men prefer pants, waistcoats, and sombreros. The kerchief is an obligatory part of the national costume for Portuguese women. And moreover, the national clothing style might vary regionally from the rich and colorful costumes in Minho to the shy dresses and black kerchiefs in Coimbra. And so, as you can see, the darker costumes, clothing are in the top right photo, and the colorful ones are in the other ones. But nowadays, people dress modern, like in the States. Like people just wearing jeans and a t-shirt all the time. And I got this information from Portugal.net. So moving on to a traditional dance. Each region of Portugal has its own style of dance and songs, with the most traditional tunes played at a slower rhythm compared to those heard in Spain. Some examples of these types of dances are the vira, the chula, and the fandango, where couples perform a spirited dance, usually to a fast beat of hand clapping, guitars, and accordions. And many of these dances reflect the courting and matrimonial traditions of that said area. And for these dances, the dress code varies. It could be, the bright, colorful costumes or like a darker costume. And so I provided YouTube links to the three types of dances I talked about. So we're going to watch a little bit of these. So first is the Vira. So that is the Vira. Moving on to the Chula. I'm gonna move more towards the middle of the video. So that is the chula, and last but not least, we have the fandango. And as you can see in the chulas, there was like the costumes were darker. There was not much color in the costumes. And this is the fandango. So as you can see in the fandango, it is all footwork. They didn't even use their arms at all. Moving on to music. So the music of Portugal can be broken down into three different categories. There's classical music, traditional folk music, and popular music. The classical music of Portugal represents the rich history and geography of the country. These are evidenced in the music history of Portugal, which, despite its like strong European roots, it reflects the intercontinental cultural interactions begun in the Portuguese discoveries. In traditional folk music, fado has the most significant impact and is incredibly popular today. It is often called the music of Portugal. Fado means fate in Portuguese, and it's a musical style which arose in Lisbon, which is the capital of Portugal, and is referred to as the music of the poor back when it arose. Fado songs are typically lyrically harsh, accompanied by a wire strung acoustic guitar, and usually sung by a solo performer who is singing with sadness. Um, and with popular music, it contains many genres, including rock and hip hop. Um, I have YouTube links for all three kinds, but due to time, I think I'm only gonna be able to play the Fado music one, which I really want to play because it's such a huge part in Portuguese culture and it's just so beautiful. And it was just everywhere whenever we were over there.
Somos dois gritos calados, dois fados desencontrados, dois amantes desunidos. Somos dois gritos calados, dois fados desencontrados, dois amantes desunidos.
So that is Fado music. As you could hear, it was a single guitar and she was singing slowly and it just sounded like sad lyrics. So moving on to food. So no part of Portugal is far from the ocean because that seafood is like a key item on basically every menu. But there are two main dishes that are popular in Portugal that aren't seafood based. And this is caldo verde and roast suckling pig. So caldo verde is a common Portuguese soup which is made up of shredded kale, potato, and chunks of chorico, which is a spicy Portuguese sausage. And the roast suckling pig is a specialty in central Portugal. Also, Portugal creates some of the world's finest wines, so wine and cheese are very common everywhere. And I also have a little video of how to make caldo verde. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but just to get a little gist. So as you can see, the ingredients are very simple. We could all make it at home, and it just looks very delicious, and it's very traditional Portuguese soup. And I got this info from Lisbon Lux and Anglo Info. So moving on to art. So Portuguese artistic styles were first inspired by the excitement of the newly emerging nation, and then by the Baroque experimentation that wealth from the colonies made possible. Manualine and art tiles are unique expressions and genuine symbols of the Portuguese. And so here I have attached three different types of art. There's tile art, famous art, and a piece of modern art. The tiles are called Angela Azuelo's accent tiles, and it's by Julia Sueda. The famous piece of art is by Leonid Afremov, and it's like an oil on canvas. And the modern art is a portrait of Paulo Alexander by Amadeo de Souza Cardoso. And so I also have a quick little video from somebody who went to the National Tile Museum. Tiles are a huge part of their lives, so much so they have a National Tile Museum. So, as I said, tiles are a big part of Portuguese art. And last but not least, we have holidays. So, Portugal has a lot of holidays that are similar to us. Um, but something that's unique is Portugal Day. And this day commemorates the death of a national literary icon, Luis de Camões, on June 10th, who died on June 10th in 1580. And so it's observed only in Portugal, and everybody celebrates it. And I have a little video from Portugal Day. I think it was from 2000. It was from Portugal Day this year.
O dia 10 de junho, Dia de Portugal, de Camões e das comunidades portuguesas, foi assinalado no Terreiro do Paço
e da nossa Constituição.
Tivo.
So basically, that video just shows how important Portugal Day is. That was held in the Praia de España, which is like the main central area of Lisbon, the capital. So that's the end of my presentation. To ciao, as they say in Portugal, and I attached a couple pictures of me in Portugal. This is me at an old monastery and a fado painting I saw on a wall walking through the streets. Thank you all for your time, and yeah, to ciao. Bye.